Hey, She family. It is Pieces of She podcast. We are so happy that you guys are back. Thank you very much. I am your host and co-host.
Gianna, what's going on, y'all?
What up? What up, G? What you been up to?
Not nothing, just chilling.
Like bruh man from the fifth floor.
For real.
Well, cool. Well, you guys, welcome back. This is season 6. We are having a ball talking about race relations. This is episode 7, and we are talking to white American, Hattie. We got this interview coming up. It's fire. I just have a feeling it's going to be fire, Why not?
What's up?
Yeah. But you know what we do before we get started? We have tea time. Let me see. Hold on. All right. Cute face, chubby waist, thick legs, and in shape.
All of the above.
I wore this shirt because let me just tell you about this quarantine life.
We staring clear of the scale over here.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I am not eating right. I'm not drinking right. Okay. But I work out every day. So I'm in shape. I just ain't doing what I'm supposed to do. Okay. And I'm sad about it. So y'all pray for me. Pray that I get this eating and drinking thing together.
Listen, at least you working out though. At least you're doing something, okay? You gotta look at the bright end of the spectrum.
All right. What does your shirt say?
Oh my gosh.
What?
I've been on a nerdy tip. That's fine though, because I'm low-key a nerd. It says, I only date rebels. It is a Star Wars reference.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, cool. Love it. All right, well, listen, we're going to get started. We're going to get into this interview. You guys, I can't wait for you guys to view it. And here we go.
Let's get into it.
Okay, and welcome back. As promised, we have this awesome interview for you guys. We have Miss Hattie Delaney in the house. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
We're excited.
Very excited for this interview for sure, yes. So to introduce, you guys all know, and I am the co-host, of course, for this season. My name is Gianna. What's going on, y'all? To introduce, you guys all know that Trish has her famous 5. So we're going to go ahead and introduce Miss Hattie D with her famous 5. She is from Irvine, California. So she's kept it in that Southern California realm when she was growing up. She is now in Sacramento, California, keeping it on that West Coast. Her generation is zillennial, so she is on the cusp. She's on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z, and so she had seen something about a zillennial, and she said, "Dang, I really do actually, feel that. I feel like I fall right into this category. I'm giving it to you, my girl. If you relate to it, you relate to it." She comes from a single parent household, but it's single parent in the way that she spent time with a single parent of her mom as well as a single parent with her dad. So she did spend time with both her mother and father, but they were both single parents at the time. So that's also a different dynamic. She has 2 siblings, one older brother and one little sister. She is the middle child, and her zodiac sign is a Gemini.
All right. Well, listen, y'all, for some reason, I attract Geminis. I still think y'all crazy as shit, but I love y'all. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
There have been a lot of Geminis on this show.
Yes. But again, welcome. And we're so glad that you are here. So as you know, we are talking race relations. This season. We have talked to, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm so a great roller coaster ride. It's like one of the ones that there's no upside downs and turns. We've just been strolling along, but we talked to a Haitian, talked to someone from the Dominican Republic, El Salvadorian, Mexican. So we have had such a treat in just talking to different people from around the world, and just getting their perspective on race, from where they're from, and then here in America. So you're from here. We're from here. Normally here in the US, predominantly, I know racism exists within all different races, but primarily is Black and white, right? What are your thoughts on racism in America as it pertains to us?
Well, I think it definitely exists. I don't know. So basically my thing is just listen. Like, just listen to what people are saying. When I went to the protests myself, literally it was just being there and listening to what they have to say. So I think it's crazy that people can literally just stand there and say, oh, this doesn't exist, nothing's happening, everything's great. It's like, if you just listen to what people are saying, just listen to them, just hear what they have to say and react to it, respond to it. This is America. You want it's a melting pot. Like, you have to accept everyone, and it's not happening, and we just need to listen to what people are saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you. Right now I think it's a pivotal time here in our country. And I think either we're going to get this shit right, or we're going to turn into something that has nothing to do with what we aspire to be like.
Right. I agree with that.
So, yeah. And how were you? Now, listen, I understand you were raised with single parents on each side, your mom and your dad. Were you raised differently, in each household to view racism? Like, how did each parent kind of talk to you about this subject? Or did they?
Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Growing up, I had, I think, a Black best friend. I can't really speak for elementary school. I don't remember that much, but I know my middle school was primarily whites and Koreans, handful of Black people. And my high school was in Orange, California, and that was whites and mainly Mexicans. And so there was also just a handful of Black people. But growing up, I know I had my best friend, Lorena, and never, just her color never came up.
Right.
And even with my parents, just never. And I was thinking about this earlier, it's definitely, I think, a nurture thing as opposed to a nature thing. They have videos where they show the kids, what's wrong with this picture, and nothing about race. So with my household, it wasn't like, you need to treat everyone equally. It was more just, they never taught me any differently. So when I'm a kid and I'm thinking nothing's wrong with this picture, they never did anything to say, hey, there's something wrong with this picture. It was just something that we didn't talk about. And so it never changed for me, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know what? It's funny that you say that, because when I was younger, so between the ages of 5 years old and 12, I also lived in California. And my best friend there was white. And my dad always taught me to just love people for who they are. It never was a thing, really. It was just, you got to love everybody. So I did get that, talk or whatever. I knew that we were different, but the subject never came up. We just were, you know what I mean? We were just friends. We had a lot in common. We liked the same kind of music. We identified with, oh, did you see this TV show? Whatever the case may be. But, you're right. For me, it never came up either during that time. Things
When
change.
you were younger.
Also, like, you know, my parents taught me just manners, I guess, you know, like respect your peers, respect everyone. So I think in that, you know, it was always just respect everyone, you know, just be polite to everyone, that type of thing. So that's also like everyone, no matter your color, has the same standing and deserves the same respect. So that's also what I grew up knowing.
And I think that when you teach it, just respect everyone instead of putting, even if you say respect everyone regardless of their race, it doesn't matter if they're white or black, then that creates the separation. So when you're just saying respect everyone, don't put anything to it, then there is no connotation of, you know, who or what, or is there a separation? Why would I respect somebody differently? You know what I mean? It's just, if you just respect everyone, that's it. Stop putting color to it, because even in a child's mind, they'll be like, well, why is there that you know, why would you say respect this white person, or make sure you respect black people? Why would you emphasize that? You know what I mean? So when you just say respect everyone and don't make such a big thing about race when you're little, just let life happen, then kids don't automatically just bring it up in their mind. Well, how should I feel about this black boy, or how should I feel about this? You know what I mean? Like, they're just people. People are just people. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. Keep going.
No, that's okay. Are you still friends with her today?
No, we lost contact because in high school we went to different schools, so we just kind of.
Yeah.
Friends.
Same here with my friend that I was friends with. We like really kind of lost touch or whatever, but we did remain friends for a very long time. I actually moved it to a whole nother state, but we wrote letters and things like that, and eventually life happened.
Right.
But we recently reconnected, right? Here's the crazy thing. I just think that she's had different experiences and I've had different experiences. So we really have not had a chance to really, really connect, because I think we probably stand on separate sides of the issue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So have you ever experienced racism here in America?
I mean, not towards me. I was thinking about this. The only thing that I have kind of just seen, I guess, I think what I'm used to experiencing or just noticing is people who, you know, they're not racist people. Like, they know that they're good people, but then they'll say wildly insensitive, like they have a comfort of just saying not racist, but I guess just like insensitive things. And they're like, well, I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person, so I can say this. But I've definitely just witnessed things like in college. I know one of my friends, Tina, who's Black. Sorry for calling her out if she doesn't want me to. But I've just noticed, like I said, you know, just listen, just watch what people are saying. But other friends of ours, you know, making comments to her, and not like you're horrible because you're Black, but just like, oh, is it because you're Black? Or just something like that. And seeing that discomfort on her face of just like, okay, like, did you really just say that? But, you know, we're friends, so I'm not really going to say anything. But just noticing that what that person said made her uncomfortable. Like, so yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed mainly.
So when you're faced with those situations, do you say anything? Do you say, hey, that was kind of rude? Or, I mean, like, how do you respond?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on how comfortable I am with them and how I want our relationship to be. So definitely, for example, like this wave, you know, that happened after George Floyd. Initially on Facebook, I never wanted to get into any sort of conversations, never wanted to start any conflict, because I know that I have friends on both sides of the spectrum. But after that, I was just like, no, that's enough. People and reading things of like, why now? In the beginning of President Trump's presidency, when the KKK, the white supremacists, were all, hey, yeah, and like nobody said anything, nobody did anything. So it definitely, in the past, no, but I'm not too much afraid to speak of it now. Definitely more vocal on Facebook and commenting and fighting it.
And let me ask you, because I have white neighbors that live next to me, and we've always been very cordial. Like we go hiking, like we do stuff together too, and since the George Floyd incident, they have expressed more of an interest into learning about, what Black people, according to me, have to face and how I feel about certain things or whatever. What do you think was the enough is enough? Like, what was that breaking point to, because I think a lot of white people right now are like, okay, it's enough of this shit. Like, stop it already, What do you think made that happen?
I want to say not mob mentality, but just like everyone, just having that comfort of everyone is doing it. Like, we're stronger in numbers. So I feel comfortable doing this because enough people are also speaking out, I think is a big just comfort of being able to do that.
But that's real. I mean, there is something to be said about that, because for one, yes, there are power in numbers. And for two, if one person doesn't go out to do it, there is definitely something called the bystander effect. If somebody doesn't see, somebody, or somebody sees somebody doing something and think that, okay, well, it's getting done, that's cool, then they'll just stand by. But if you see that, if you feel more comfortable that something is being done, you know what I mean, then it gives you comfort. And not necessarily to say that that's the way that it should be, but I'm glad that it's happening so that people can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So what are your thoughts about the Black Lives Matter movement? I mean, do you think that it should be an emphasis on Black lives, or should it just be like, no, like all lives matter, but we all need to care about everybody? Like, do you think there should be an emphasis there?
I do think, because you handle everything one step at a time, and it's like those posts say, like, someone's fighting for breast cancer, you don't say, oh well, there's lung cancer. Like, we're just, why? I don't get that, because anyways, but yeah, I do think that it should be specifically Black Lives Matter, and once we take care of this, we can take care of the other issues as well. And it's also, I saw the thing that was like, that was like, the Blue Lives Matter, and someone was like, well, what about the nurses, and what about the everyone, like all jobs matter. It's like, well, no, we're fighting for this specific issue. Like, yes, that is what we're trying to say. So
Yeah, well, good. So, and what do you think, like, made you get on this side of the narrative?
I have always been there. I guess, I've always supported it. But I honestly, as soon as it started, I was like, cool. Yes. So.
Well, we definitely
made you, I'm sorry, what makes you, what'd you say, Trish? I'm sorry.
I was just saying thank you. Really.
For sure. What do you feel made you be on this side? Because obviously there are people who are on the All Lives Matter narrative, and they feel in their bones that they have a reason to be in that space. They have arguments in their mind that this makes sense. So what do you feel moved you to be on the side of, well, Black Lives Matter makes sense to me? You know what I mean? I don't know if there was like something that happened specifically, or what is the mindset, or what clicks off in your mind to say, that's the side that I'm going to be on because this is how I feel, or what makes you feel that way?
Just because of, what we just said, it's just specifically, we're trying to fight this for this specific cause, and knowing that it is reality, that Black people are being targeted disproportionately. And so I think that like I said, just listening to what people are saying is just what makes you realize that there is an issue. So when people say, all lives matter, they want to say that it's happening to everyone. And I mean, the point is, you're fighting police brutality. There's other groups that are also fighting, like skaters and everyone that knows police brutality is happening. And so I hate that it's almost an argument not to fight against police brutality because you're fighting for Black lives. Like, why is that such a problem for you?
Right.
But, yeah, just
probably because they feel like they need to protect police more than they need to protect another life.
There was it John?
A Black life, I
John
should say.
Oliver or Trevor Noah, but they said, like, I don't want to shout out numbers that I don't know. I think it's like less than 3%. That's really low. But of people that actually interact with police on a daily, or not daily basis, but just in the span of a year, the amount of people that actually interact with police is so low. So it's like they're supporting this idea that the police, are so amazing, but, they don't actually know. They just like the idea of it.
Right.
You know what I've always wanted to know, like, okay, when a policeman, I'm driving my car, I'm like, I ain't doing shit wrong. I'm going the speed limit. I got my seatbelt on. I'm 10 to 2 in this bitch, right? And I see a policeman behind me. My fucking heart rate starts to be like, what do you feel when a policeman gets behind you, if anything?
I mean, honestly, the same thing.
Oh, do you?
Heather's like, I got warrants out here. I had to make sure my heart start racing too.
Okay, so twice in Flagstaff, I was pulled over by a police officer, and I don't know if any other time I have been. Oh, third time when I got into the car accident. But anyways, so 2 times pulled over. The first time it was 2 a.m. No one was on the road. It was on, I think, like Highway 69 going from one side of Flagstaff to the other. No one's on the road. I see this car speeding up behind me, like literally just going so fast. And instead of, I don't know, pulling over or what, I just start to go faster. And it turns out to be a police officer. And he just, turns on his lights. I'm freaking out. He comes up to me and he's like, why were you driving so fast? And I think he sees my uniform, and I just start crying, and I'm like, you freaked me out, man. Like, you pulled up on me. I don't know. And I just started like rambling. And he goes, okay, you're fine. You can go home. I was like, okay. And then the second time was a police officer who pulled me over because I missed a stop. I didn't stop enough at a stoplight. And they decided they were going to pull me over after I had gone all the way down the street, over a bridge, a little farther. And then he was like, you missed that stoplight, or stop sign, not stoplight, way back over there. I was like, really? It took you that long to pull me over? What? Oh, that got dark. But yeah, I was afraid both times. Second time, honestly, I had my friend's weed pipe in the side of my car. He asked me to hold on to it for him. I didn't even smoke, and I was just freaking out. So I just started bawling again, and he was like, I don't even want to put up with you. You're good. So
he saw it and he let you go.
No, he didn't see it. No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
you're like, oh no, that's really,
that shit don't happen in our, but I can say that I have talked myself out of tickets before. So I've done it. as well, but I was scared of shit, lying like I was lying.
I can say that I don't want to say that I encounter police officers a lot, but out of maybe like the 6 times that I have been maybe 7 times I've been pulled over for speed, and I've only gotten a ticket like 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I get a ticket every year.
Oh.
Ever since I've been driving. Yeah.
I don't have that
And
problem.
for speeding, or what kind of excuses?
All kind of shit. Speed. I ain't stopping at the stop sign. Let me see. Speeding is the most. I drive really fast. Not stopping at a stop sign. That's really it. I speed. Yeah, but I'm better now. Yeah, I'm better. But yeah, no, most of the time they ask me why am I speeding, and I make up some shit, boy. But anyway, all right. Well,
water just broke. My daughter water just broke. Had to go. Heather, you want to turn on the light? Is there a light behind you?
It died.
Okay.
We can still see you.
Yeah, I can still see you.
Oh, there's something.
That's good. That's perfect.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So well, that's I'm not gonna say I'm glad to hear that you feel the same thing I feel when policemen are behind me.
I can tell you, my roommate, she gets pulled over all the time. So,
she's white as well. Yes. Really? Okay. So, how diverse is your friend circle?
Currently in Sacramento, not very diverse. I don't have many friends right now, actually, to be honest. So I still keep in touch with one Black person. But other than that, I just don't really have friends. But up in Sacramento, it's not diverse from my circle of people.
Yeah. So what do you do? I guess how does it affect you when people don't have the same views or point of view as you, when they oppose your point of view? So let's say you're talking to somebody about Black Lives Matter and they're like, that's bullshit. I don't fucking agree with that shit. Like, no. How do you feel about that?
It's really frustrating. But I kind of stay away from like actual,
Confrontation
type of things. I think with most of my friend group who do not agree with me, they're very passive. So, and I haven't encountered anyone in real life that I've like talked to about it. I can say that in my line of work, I encounter a lot of truckers every day, and they're very pro-Trump, like I see the Trump hats and everything, and I really just want to put on like a Black Lives Matter pin or like I Can't Breathe shirt, but I honestly feel like it would lose my business customers. But I haven't gotten into any super heated fights about it.
Do you have people? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It is very frustrating to hear it, and sorry. Go on.
Do you have people that are close to you? Like, I do see that on Facebook, we're friends on Facebook. So I do see on Facebook that you're very vocal about your stance on Black Lives Matter, as well as the death of George Floyd, and just the differences that there are in the U.S. pertaining to race. So I do see that there are sometimes people that are, I don't know how close they are to you, but there are sometimes people that get in your comments that, you kind of can go back and forth with. How much of that do you let weigh you down or let get to you, or how much does it affect you, I want to say?
I do get pretty heated about it. Like I'll come home, ask my roommates, I'm like, you guys, it happened again today. But
it happened again, guys.
There was just one lady, I think you know maybe who I'm talking about, this one lady. I ended up having to block her. The only reason that she was in my space was because she's my roommate's grandmother, who she asked.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was not ready. I wasn't ready, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
She, I actually unfriended her maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and she got into my DMs and guilt tripped me into friending her again. She said, you know, just because people have different points of view than you doesn't mean that, you know, you need to unfriend them. We need to live with everyone. And I was like, okay. So friended her again, just ignored all of her stuff. But her granddaughter actually blocked her the year before, and I kept every single day, every single post I had, she would comment every single thing, and she causes me so much stress and anxiety every day that I finally was like, I can't, like, it's not worth the opposing views to feel that every single day.
That's real. You can only give so much energy.
I really tried.
Do you feel that the views of the older generation are a lot more racist than the views of the zillennials?
I do. Probably going to be in trouble for this because I'm going to link your podcast, but I do, because they grew up with it being normal. They grew up learning that Black people were not as great as them, or Mexican people, you know, just that they were superior. So they can feel that that they are great people, and, you know, we treat people with kindness every day, but really how many of those people are you encountering every day? And so, you know, I can't speak for everyone that is of that age, you know, because they were in protests back then too. So, you know, you can't speak for everyone of that age. But yeah, you grew up with that being normal. And so you can say that you're a great person because, you know, you treat everyone wonderfully, but you might have some prejudices that you're not aware of.
Yeah, I understand that. Do you feel like there's a such thing as white guilt? And have you ever experienced that, or know anybody that's experienced that?
I feel like I do, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think, you know, not that it's, you know, that it's not dumb, but it's like, you know, because I've never done anything, but
Right.
I feel bad. I feel like I do have that, and I can't explain why, but yes, I do think that's a thing.
So what about white privilege? Do you think that that's a thing? And do you think people understand what it is? Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the people that not necessarily are support, I do think, you know, some people understand it, some people don't, but I do think that it is real. Yeah, definitely some confused people.
When you're talking, do you talk in your friend circle about white guilt and white privilege at all?
So like I said, I don't really have a friend circle right now. I do talk about it. So my roommate's my best friend. Her boyfriend, he wants to be a CHP officer. He is very I don't want to say very democratic, but he's very pro BLM. She's going to be a teacher. So we all have these conversations. So I have it in my household, and with
and he is white.
He is Mexican.
Okay. And she is white.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So has your household talked about white guilt at all?
No, actually, I've never talked about that subject specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, if, not say our circle, because I have a very diverse group of friends, but when our friends get together, we talk about a lot, you know what I mean? So I just wonder how far it goes, just to see in the diversity of the different friend circles is all. I just wonder.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not a topic that we've even thought about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great thing not to have to talk about it.
Right?
I'm just saying, like,
That is true.
for the protests, like when I would go to the protests, I these white people are here because they want to support, they want to be here, but when you would hear the Black people speak, it's like they're here because they have to be.
Right.
And, they're here every week, so it's like it's a privilege for us even to go, but other people feel like it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Like they have to. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, for us, if we don't go protest, then nothing's going to change and our lives are affected. And then if on the opposite spectrum, it's like, I want to be here to experience and I want to be here to help, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily going to be my feelings, my energy is going to be affected, but my daily, everyday life isn't, there's not too much is going to change for me.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of switch gears a little bit here. Does the term Karen do anything for you? What do you feel about that word?
I have one family member that feels so strongly about that word, and I didn't realize why. Like, she always posts about being offended by it, and I'm like, do you have a friend named Karen? I'm super confused. But then I was thinking maybe she's called Karen a lot. I don't know, but we use that term. I like it. I mean, I like it.
I mean, have you seen the different Karen situations, and what do you make of that?
So, it just reminds me, my roommate, we recently took a flight like a month ago, and then we're coming back, and when we got off the flight, she said, I had a couple of Karens behind me. And she says that they were just saying, like, how can you tell me how to walk one way in a grocery store? Like, I'm gonna walk whatever way I want or something.
So
I don't know.
upset. So upset.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah.
Trish, I had a Karen incident.
No.
It wasn't me personally. I was just around to witness it, and I was 2 seconds away from going up over there and telling her, talking. But the Sally's lady. So I was at Sally's. I went to go get some hair supplies. My hair needs to be washed. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. So I can't see the register. The register is over there, and I'm like in the back corner because that's where the curly hair products are. So all I hear is this lady. She's like, well, what do you mean I can't touch you? And the cash register, the cashier was like, we don't, have you seen it where to give tender, they'll give you like a plate, you put it on the plate or you put it down or whatever, something like that. Mm-hmm. So she was like, so I can't hand you this money because I might touch you? She was like, there is the possibility that, or we can touch each other, crossing terms or whatever. She was like, I don't get it, and I've had enough of this. And so the lady in the back, she was back there in the back with me. She was like, ma'am, that is enough. Either you want to buy this and you're going to do it this way, or you can leave. She was like, I've had enough of this. And then she storms out. What do you mean you've had enough of this, though? You know what's going on in the world. You're going to either have to get with it, or you're not going to have anything in your household. You're not going to have products. You're not going to have hair products. You're not. What do you mean? It blows my mind how entitled.
Yeah. Like, why is it such a problem for you? Why? How much more does that affect your life?
Wow. I don't know. Yeah. It's beyond me. I've had incidences, but I think I have a look that I give that people don't really go too far with it. Yeah. Which I appreciate. I appreciate that because I am not the one. So, Hattie, have you ever dated outside of your race?
So, no.
What does that mean? What?
Like date. Okay, so there's this.
What do you mean by date?
You know, middle school, like there's this kid I knew from preschool. He was Black. We got together in the morning. We had a couple classes. I think we kissed during break, and I was like, oh, I only feel for you as a friend. And then that was it. So that's all I can say. But I don't have any sort of preferences in terms of race. I think I just like in I've been attracted to all races. I'm just wasn't one to date very much. But yeah, so I think that there is handsome people in all of the races, and I've been attracted to all of them. I haven't dated all of them.
That's good. That's good. I can honestly say, I'm just saying me personally, I'm just literally not attracted to white men. I don't know why. I'm just not. And I don't know if it's, experiences that I've had or whatever, but I'm just not.
I'm trying to think of
Not that I don't like them. I have a lot of friends, well, when I say friends, I'm just people I know that I communicate with and talk to about issues or whatever. But as far as a romantic, just never been there. Never
And
been.
it's not like a culture thing or like
I'm
anything
sure it's a culture thing because
like they wouldn't be able to understand me type of thing, or
yeah, like they may want to, okay, they're not going to understand none of this shit that I have going on, like hair wise, why I do certain things. And I just don't want to answer no questions about why I do all this shit. Yeah. And why I might have a different hairstyle today and then tomorrow is totally different and how I got it that way.
that makes sense.
So
you say you've never been attracted to a white man?
I had a white boyfriend when I was in the 7th grade.
There we go.
And that, as a matter of fact, that was my first kiss. That was the first boy I ever kissed. So 7th grade.
And then that ruined it for you.
And you were in grade school. But yeah, 7th grade, and I did like him a lot, but he was kind of like, I hope this isn't gonna sound crazy, but like, you know how Eminem, I really like white, like Eminem, the rapper.
Yeah. He
was kind of like that.
He was a thug. He was a thug a little bit.
Did he do any of the things that you said you're afraid of? Like, did he ask you, how do you get your hair like that or anything like that?
No, he already knew. All he dated was Black women, Black girls. So he knew. He was very familiar with Black girls,
So there are men, you married now, it ain't like anybody else has a chance. There are men there are white men that only date Black women and they already know these things.
I know, but I would want to date somebody if I was in that arena. I wouldn't want to date. Why? What's the point? Like, I want to date somebody different, right? We want to.
What do you mean you want to date somebody different? What do you mean?
Well, I don't. I'm married. I've been married for a long, long time. I don't want to date anybody. But what I'm saying is, I would want to learn something different from another race. So if I get I didn't learn nothing from him. My little boyfriend.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
didn't learn nothing.
I see.
So there has to be just vulnerability in terms of like culture and learning about it.
Yeah, I'm a nerd like that. Like, I want to know things, but like, my thing is, I don't think that I would have the patience to do the explaining on my end I could explain about cultural things, but like my personal stuff, like my hair.
She's like, what are you saying?
I'm looking at you a certain way for sure.
I don't want to have to explain my hair.
Okay. we're not gonna get into it today. We can talk about it another time. But I'm looking at you a specific way. Just know that. And that's not that's not just because I had a preference of dating white men. Not necessarily a preference. I was just attracted a lot to white men, and I still am attracted to white men. But that's not the reason why. But I'm looking at you crazy right now.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're talking race relations. So, Hattie, do you think that this whole race thing can end?
No.
Damn.
So, I mean, like, in my personal point of view, I think that we're gonna get to, this is gonna be stupid, but I think that we're gonna get to the point, almost like Hunger Games. You know how they change their skin color just for fun? Like, they just, I think we're gonna get to the point where we can do things like change our skin color to red or orange or whatever is the most popular. I think that we're just gonna get to a point where everyone's gonna be mixed race for one, because that's gonna happen unless there are some crazy people that are only whites, which, you know, that'll happen. Yeah. But I think we'll get to a point where we can do crazy things like change the color of our skin and it's not gonna matter. That went a little out there. But yes, I think so. And then you kind of get into the whole culture thing, though, and different cultures and which one is superior. So I feel like at any point, anyone's just going to say, I'm on top. But yeah.
So you think if it's not race, it could be something else?
Oh, yeah.
So this shit is just going to go on and on and on.
And even with the, you know, the skin color changing thing, you know, that might only be for rich people. So then all the poor people are still going to be like, well, I'm stuck. So, but.
Well, thank you for having my little radar thing go down a little more. Because I am such an optimist. I'm an optimist, and I have to think that we can get past this thing. My sister, my co-host, does not think that this is going to happen within the next 500 fucking years. That's depressing.
Trish, one of the things that you say is that you're hopeful about. You're like, I think that this younger generation has got it. I'm younger generation. Hattie's younger generation. Kamie's younger generation.
I'm talking about after y'all. Y'all.
Oh, we don't count.
I'm talking about the Z's.
Got it.
In terms of the 500 years from now, because, you know, it's been, what, 100 plus years, and we have come, you know, a far way from then. So maybe in 500 years.
But have we, though? Have we come a far way, Hattie?
I know, but, like, there's still progress. So, like, it's been slow, but, like, the progress is happening.
Okay.
Who knows? We just have to do it.
Well, damn. Hattie, it has been such a pleasure talking to you about race relations. I so appreciate you coming on the show. I really do.
Thank you.
You're brave. That's all I'm gonna say. It's because a lot of people did not, they will not do it. And it's like, why? What's the problem? But I thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Do you have any last words, G, before we get out of here?
Hand raised.
What'd you say?
I said my hand raised. I had two things to say. I have a statement, and then I had a question, but I might have forgot it. I just wanted to make a statement that you are the first person on this show that referred to Trump as President Trump. Like, we're all like, that dude over there, that guy in the White House. Not to say that I don't know how you feel politically, and I don't know that we should necessarily get into it right now, but I just thought that was an interesting thing. The moment that you said it, I said, that's crazy that she's the first person that.
You know, I don't too. I'm just talking about him. Yeah, that's funny.
He doesn't even have, like, I feel like that title is earned out of respect, and I don't think I've ever called him that ever. But that's that. I wanted to say something else too. And you said that when we were talking about have you ever encountered racism, you said no, because you pointed to yourself as though
I haven't, like,
right, you, but
eye color.
racism, the definition of racism doesn't say this mentality directed to black people. Racism is people thinking that that you're superior than. So with that understanding, you can still experience racism as a white person. Somebody can still treat you a certain way because you're white. And so I wanted to kind of circle back around to that question, just to kind of re-ask, with that mentality, have you experienced racism even if you're white? Because it can happen to white people. But I was just wondering if you have ever maybe consciously had an experience like that.
I have not. The only thing I can tell you is there was a girl on Facebook. She blocked me, so I know this from a third party. But she blocked me for passive aggressively liking someone else's comment. I didn't even say anything and she blocked me. But anyways,
oh, wow.
She said that her blonde hair, blue-eyed white children experience racism every day, and just not understanding the Black Lives Matter movement at all, because they experience racism for looking the way they do, and they're completely white, but they live in Prescott, Arizona, and she just said that, like, her child came home wanting to dye his hair brown because he was being made fun of at school, and we weren't able to get anything out of her in terms of who was bullying them, and any sort of the details, so I didn't even really want to talk about that. But I have heard someone say, like, well, my children are bullied for being white, and everyone there is pretty much white, right?
I mean, I could kind of see something like that happening if they were maybe in a predominantly Black school, and
Right.
then, that happening, but that is a little outrageous to me in this country.
Yeah, and she was also like, I have experienced racism because people think I look Mexican, so I have experienced that. And like, my roommate was like, well, what do you think actual Mexican, like, why is it so bad to be thought of as Mexican?
Right.
So
that part. Okay.
Yeah.
I did want to make sure to rephrase the question, just so that so we get that understanding too.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful and thankful again. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. This has been such an experience, and I can't wait to just look at them all again and just experience it all again. So thank you again. All right, She family, until next time.